All right, how's everybody doing? Today, I want to talk to you about how I got my online course business to go from completely dead to taking off pretty well. Now, before we get into it, I'm not pretending to be one of these online course gurus. That's not why I created my courses. I don't do advertising to try and just entirely build a business around online courses, but I do have a lot of information to share, and online courses is one of the ways that I have done that. Over the years, I've had a variety of courses and they didn't do so good. And my most recent course that's actually been out for a while has really started to soar. And it's because of a couple of changes I made. And I'm going to share those changes with you in case you are thinking about a similar model where you want to create an online course and you want to learn from the things that I did. So just to give you a little taste of how that course is done, courses over the last few years for me have made me about $40,000. That's a nice chunk of change. Within the last 2 or 3 days, this one particular course of mine has made me over $1,000. And what I love about course sales is I offer other types of services that make me more money, but course sales are great because I do the activity one time and that course will then sell itself with no further activity on my behalf. Whereas if I'm doing consulting or something like that, I'm swapping time for money and it takes my time to continue to deliver those services over and over and over. It's not replicatable. So I do like online courses. Online courses are also a great way to work with people who can't afford to work with me directly. I can record a course on a similar topic that I help people with, coach people with, and they can take it at a much more affordable rate. So I want to walk you through some things that I did with my course to get it to really start taking off like a rocket. Again, not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, but I think a respectable amount that anyone would be happy to earn for their effort that they did. So the TLDR, before I get to it, is I picked a course topic that was about making money. People are usually interested in one of two things, either how to make money or how to be healthier. So maybe be fit or ripped or something like that. I focused on a name that implied a quick, easy start with the course. I picked a hosting platform that gave me some control and didn't cost me a lot. I didn't have to go run ads for the course. I have tried that in the past, but it didn't work. I was able to use existing channels that I already had to promote it, particularly this YouTube channel. So just to be candid, most of the course sales for the course I'm going to talk about or reference come from YouTube. I was able to use those channels to make data-driven decisions, okay? And then lastly, I focused on a pricing structure that was affordable for most people, but still got me a nice return on my money. So my course tends to be, I may say this again later, my course is about 10% the cost of other courses like it out there. Now, I've had people tell me consistently that I should raise my prices, but I don't want to do that. I'm happy with where it is. I get a nice, some beer money, as I jokingly call it, and people can afford it. I'm not breaking the bank when people want to take the course. So let's start out with some tips. So the first thing I mentioned was I pick a better course topic. So again, my earlier courses were all about sharing startup experiences as a 3-time founder and how to go about getting startup funding. If you think about that topic, that's interesting to some people. If that's interesting to you, that's great. But it's a little bit of a more narrow group, whereas just about everybody would like a way in which to make more money. I mentioned that people tend to like courses that go around health and wealth. Those apply to just about everybody, whereas startup funding, not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to start a high-growth startup. Not everybody's looking for startup funding. So those had limited audiences. This course didn't. It was really about making money. A few years back, I did a project with Microsoft where I was doing research for them because they were very interested in the movement toward freelancing. And I remember a stat from that that said by 2025, 70% of the US or the world actually would have some sort of side hustle. And so that's what this course helps people do. They can start this profession part-time or full-time, and they can make a little bit of extra money, even if they're not making 6 figures, as a lot of gurus like to promote. They're making a couple $100 or even a few $1,000s. It's a nice return for them to pay down some debt, afford a vacation, do whatever they want to do. So it's really no shock to me that people are interested in making extra money because I've been doing side hustles and part-time businesses for over a decade now, and it's paid off big dividends for me and my family. So The course that I'm talking about is called Commercial Loan Broker in a Box. It teaches people how to start a commercial loan broker business. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I have been in banking and in finance for 20 plus years, starting as a teller, finishing in the C-suite. I've done over $800 million worth of debt and equity deals. So I've helped companies get lots of funding. So I will broker small business loans. Just closed one a little while back and made a nice check from doing it. And this course teaches you how to get started doing that. So again, it's the idea of doing that, whether part-time or full-time, and making a little bit of extra money. Or some people, I have students who have been able to make a lot of money doing it, and it's been really, really impressive for them. So another change that I did is I did a better job with naming. So some of my other courses, I tend to use the word formula in all of my courses. It's just something that I was drawn toward. I was teaching people a formula to do things. In this course, at the time that I was doing this course, I was looking at becoming a registered investment advisor, a Series 65 registered investment advisor, an RIA. And I had found a service that would help you start an RIA business, and it was called RIA in a Box. And I really liked that concept when I came around to this course. And so that's how I landed on the idea of commercial loan broker in a box. If you think about that name, it implies it's out of the gate, it's easy, it's convenient, it's done for you to some degree. And that naming convention, I think, has made a difference. A lot of the other courses that I'm competing with are things like Commercial Loan Broker Institute. I don't know if that's exactly right. I'm not mocking those people, by the way. I'm sure they have a great course. But the name is a little formal, and mine is a little more focused on the idea of this is just out of the box. You just buy the course, I give you the things, and off you go. And we'll talk about that here in a bit too. So I focused on a much better name, and I think that made a difference for me. Another thing that's made a difference is I'm using a better hosting platform. So when I very first started offering courses, I don't know how long it's been, probably at least 7 years ago, I posted them on Udemy, and Udemy is a perfectly wonderful platform, but Udemy tends to heavily discount courses, and you don't make as much money on a course sale. Now, Udemy will promote your course for you, which is nice, but again, you're not making that much. So let me run you through some numbers. I have since moved my courses to Gumroad. Everything I sell, all my downloadables, all my courses, all my books, everything is available on Gumroad. Let me run you through some information so you can do a comparison to see how the choices between the two platforms mattered. Now, remember, the caveat is Udemy promotes for you. Gumroad will do that some too, but it's not as good. I have had more sales on Udemy, but less revenue. So let's talk about the numbers. So time on platform, Udemy around 10 years. I've been on Gumroad for about 3 years. Number of sales on Udemy. Listen to the number of students. 13,859 people have taken my courses on Udemy. On Gumroad, it's 632 people. So what is that? 5%. No, I'm sorry, bad math. It's not a lot, right? So a lot more people on Udemy than on Gumroad. Earnings per platform. So lifetime earnings on Udemy is $15,296. Lifetime on Gumroad is over $24,000. Now think about that. I was on Udemy for around 10 years, Gumroad for 3, and I've made more money on Gumroad, even though Udemy promotes more than I do. So I took those numbers and broke it down for you. The average income per student on Udemy has been $1.10. And some of that is because my courses are posted on their business platform where you only get paid for time watched. And on Gumroad, my average sale per student is $38.50. So I make a 35x return on Gumroad as I do Udemy. My promotion has been better with Commercial Loan Broker in a Box. So all the other courses, I didn't quite leverage my existing channels, and my promotion has been better. So with Commercial Loan Broker in the Box, I made the decision at the time I created it, my YouTube channel was growing in subscribers. And so I decided to get very focused on content around that course on YouTube. And to this day, the bulk of my sales of this course come off of people seeing my YouTube videos around the same topic. So I had better promotion as I was doing things. I have a general distribution of about 14,000. So between subscribers on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, my email address subscribers. I have around 14,000 people. And so I was paying attention to the data and noticed that the bulk of sales for Commercial Loan Broker in a Box were coming through YouTube. So I doubled down there. I started recording content specifically for YouTube, things like how to make money as a commercial loan broker. That's had 13,000 views. A day in the life of a commercial loan broker, 12,000 views, that type of thing. And then I just link to the course in the video. That is probably the biggest reason the course has done so well, is paying attention to the data and going where the sales are happening. Two more things. I've had better pricing. So originally when I sold the course, I marked it at $497 for the whole course. It was just one option, $497, you got the course. I thought that was a great idea because most other people who sell a course like this charge between $2,000 and $20,000. And so I had some sales, but I started to tinker with the price and I would bring it down. Anytime I went over $300, my sales would drop dramatically. And so today, the base course is a whopping $47. If you want the templates that go with it, which really make it out of the box, that's $147. And then if you want all of that plus an hour of coaching with me to get started fast, I call that the Fast Start program, it's $347. I like these price points. Again, people constantly keep telling me to charge more. I had one student tell me I should be charging thousands of dollars. I've had another tell me I should charge tens of thousands of dollars like everyone else. That student made $120,000 on their first deal. So I get why they told me to charge more. But I wanted to keep it affordable. I like to help people. Certainly, I didn't want to give it away for entirely free because I put a lot of time and energy into it, but I wanted to help people. And so I feel like it's an affordable price point for just about everyone. As a matter of fact, today, I'm negotiating or answering questions for someone who wants to buy the course, and hopefully that sale will come through, and that will give me up over $1,500 in a few days in sales. Okay, last thing, better course design. I've alluded to this a couple of times. So most of my other courses are just what I'm doing here, me talking to an audience and teaching them about a subject, very little visuals, those types of things. I still teach that way. I don't do a lot of visuals, a lot of production because it adds cost and I would feel like I'd have to charge more. But what I did do was create a bunch of templates, and that tied into the naming of Out of the Box. So with this course, you get templates about how to reach out to lenders, how to reach out to prospects, how to reach out to referral sources. I give you an email sequence you can use for lead gathering. I give you a fee agreement template that you still need to get your own attorney to look at, but it gets you a starting place. I give a lot of extra things to go with the course. It's not just video lessons. And that goes back, again, one last time to the idea of out of the box, getting started very fast. I learned that by a course I had taken. And so I realized that added a lot of value to the course. And so I added that to mine as well. And so to this day, I mentioned that the base course is $47, then $147 with the templates, $347 for the Fast Start. The most common sale I get is the Fast Start that includes the extra training with me for an hour. And the reason is I kept having people say, course is great, but I feel like I could use a little bit of extra training. I offer that, and that has been the most common sale I have had. So when you're offering an online course, I think it's a great revenue source. It can help a lot of people if you do it right and help you make some money. I highly recommend paying attention to these lessons that I've learned. I've been at this for a long time, learned a lot of lessons on the way. I'm sure there's even more that I could learn, but I wanted to share these with you in case you're thinking about it. I would encourage you to record that course. Use these best practices as you are building it out, and I think you'll have some success. There's nothing more gratifying than sitting here and seeing the email come in that a sale has occurred. Granted, I did a lot of work in the early days recording the course and organizing it and doing the templates, but today I get to sit back, and it's the closest I've ever been to what I would call mailbox money, where a check just shows up for something I did years ago. I hope that was interesting to you. I'd love to see some comments and questions in the section underneath the video, and I'll talk to you again. Take care.